Actually, currently the ray gun carbine.
Yeah. So, like I said, the biggest thing that was really holding us up was CryEngine. We reached out to Crytek, and the guys over at Crytek UK, which is now Dambuster Games, they were super helpful. But once they left Crytek and went to Dambust, created Dambuster, and they were owned by Deep Silver, the communication got kind of cut off. And I feel like it's probably because Crytek was like, look, you guys are not part of this anymore, so you can't help them or something. Because, I mean, we literally had no help. We're just kind of stuck in the dark trying to figure everything out ourselves. I mean, you got all these talented developers, people who worked at TT Games, on the Lego games and stuff like that. You had all these talented developers working in their spare time to bring this game to life. But we couldn't get past the darn engine issues. So somewhere along the line, after I had left, we got a guy named Josh. And Josh has been making leaps and bounds with everything. Eventually, I think he's even gotten a job at Crytek, because he's basically, like, he reverse engineered the animation pipeline, pieced that stuff together. I mean, the guy is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, he essentially dedicated most of his awake time to getting us, like, ahead. So, not saying that the previous programmers didn't do that. I mean, they were making leaps and bounds in other areas. But Josh, truly, I mean, he was like, this is a problem and we're going to fix it, and he just dove straight on into it. But let's see, I'm reading your thing. Did anything specifically notable happen in 2014? Didn't I leave in 2014? What year did I leave?
It was either that year or 2013. Because you had promised a playable beta by the end of 2013. So I think probably right when we crossed that line around, like, Christmas time. I think probably somewhere in that area. That's when you kind of had your breaking point where you said, like, I have to go.
Wait, 2013?
Well, maybe it wasn't 2013, Aegis. Like, because I know that we were talking about it. Well, okay, actually, the best question is, what does the meme say? The meme is the best indicator. Everybody was talking about it. Like, we were like December 2013, 14, like, pre-alpha coming, like, it has become a meme essentially. So
it was through 13 or 14. That's all I remember.
All the sources that seem to be finding say 2014, but can I really trust sources? That's the thing.
I think you can trust those sources. If it says December 2014, I think it's that. Because if my memory, since we're talking about it and my memory is being jogged at this point, so, like, the sparks are starting to fly around. Finally, it's like the dust is like yeah. So I think I left around April 2015. So around, I think, if I remember correctly, we had done an interview at some point, and I had gotten the team to kind of, like, rush out and do a bunch of stuff just for this interview. And when was that? Maybe I'm getting mixed up, but yeah, it ended up being, I left because, like, I was essentially disagreeing with the team. I'm like, look, if we just focused our efforts on one map, a handful of weapons, and a couple of characters, and just made it the best thing we could possibly turn out. I mean, just like one map, handful of weapons, handful of characters and just showed the community, hey, look, this is what all of this hard work has finally come to. This is what we've accomplished. We weren't necessarily disagreeing on the maps or anything like that. We were disagreeing on essentially getting everybody motivated to actually do the work to make it happen. I mean, we had I want to say 2 developers who were actively working on 2 different maps. I think one guy was working on Training Ground and what was that other one? Aegis. Parking Garage. I can't remember the name of it. What was the other map that he was working on?
What map? Who's working on? You kind of cut out.
Sorry, Training Ground, and there was a second map that
Chinese.
Oh, and Chinese. I think Chinatown or something like that. That was a third.
Chinatown.
I just remember. Damn it! I think we even had Egypt in at one point, but no. But it was basically getting everybody motivated to just get into Unreal Engine and not Unreal Engine, CryEngine, and just make it work so that we could build this demo out and just demonstrate it to the community and ultimately show Crytek, look, we're worth our salt. We can work with you and make this an HD remaster of all 3 games and stuff like that. I mean, so sorry. So, any other great questions?
So, was 2014 basically just 1 year of actually developing the game, such as animations, 2D art, that kind of thing?
Yeah, because what's my time frame, Aegis? Oh man, didn't we announce in at the end of November? I know it's November something, 2012 or 13. That hey, we got the approval from Crytek to work on this.
Yeah, the sources all seem to say the same thing.
Was it 2013 or 2012?
See, that's the weird thing. All the sources seem to say that you were given approval back in end of 2012, beginning of 2013, but then there's this weird time gap where it says that Crytek UK gave the blessing for you to actually make the game in November 2013. So I don't know if the sources are incorrect or...
I don't think the sources are incorrect. I think they just got the timeline a little mixed up a tiny bit. I know I just said the same thing twice, a little bit, tiny bit. Yeah, okay, so that actually sounds about right. November 2012. And then we spent a lot of time just getting together, getting people onto the team, finding just programmers and artists and just everybody. We eventually got Sebastian, who's a brilliant guy from Germany who works in IT, and he manages the entire infrastructure that we use, website and all. So then we got that, and then we started doing a bunch of interviews because we had character models made for Viola and Duckman Drake and a couple other characters. We made some progress in that department, so we were super excited to really kind of just show that stuff off. In hindsight, I realized you probably don't want to show off just, oh hey, here's some character models, because if you look at any mod DB page, you'll see character models, weapon models, things like that. The thing that people truly care about is gameplay. So in hindsight, I've learned you probably just wanted to wait. So yeah, 2000 at the end of 2012. So most of 2013 was spent just recruiting and stuff like that, and building up as much as we can.
And 2014 was spent on development and actually getting the game to a playable state.
Yeah, Yes.
When did you return to the team? Because you left sometime 2014, 2015. It's 2019. When did you return, if you don't mind me asking?
Sometime last year. They just
April, I think, last year. If I have a journal log of the events that have happened since like January of last year, I think I wrote you down for April.
Damn. Well, I think that's about it for questions to ask, to be honest. Thank you for actually giving up some of your time to talk to me about the project. Honestly, I've been wanting to talk to you for the longest time about Rewind, ever since 2012, 13 maybe. So it's kind of an honor. Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure talking with you as well. I mean, my name doesn't hold as much weight as it used to, but it's just nice talking to somebody who cares about this project. And I assume you're doing like some sort of YouTube video or article somewhere.
I've been working on getting a documentary done on Free Radical and TimeSplitters and where we are at now with the series. So I needed some information on Rewind. So this was the best place for it. I've been trying to find the sources as well, trying to find stuff on Daniel, but that seems to be almost all lost. But
Daniel mostly existed on Facebook. He didn't really exist outside of Facebook. I mean, he had that Facebook group, Facebook page or whatever it is, 100,000 strong for TimeSplitters 4.
He created that.
Yeah, he created that page. He was the original author of that page. And then Crytek reached out and said that, hey, you got the permission to work on this. So he stumbled upon me on Reddit, and I hopped on as a community manager because, like I said, I like talking with people, engaging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
About a month after, all this happened, he had to step away because I think he was getting married or something like that. Basically, life was changing for him really fast, so he had to step away. And I essentially got handed the project and said, "Hey, all right, have fun." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, I mean, but anyway, no. If you have any questions or if you want some clarification on things or anything, feel free to just reach out to me.
Sure, no
like I
problem.
said, I'm always open to talk about anything. Also, if you're doing that, the rise and fall of TimeSplitters.
Oh, nothing that dramatic. Nothing that dramatic. If only. I do
No, you're making it sound like that. I was all like, man, am I going to end up on a rise on a YouTube video talking about that?
No, it's just that I look all over the internet. I'm the moderator of our TimeSplitters on Reddit. I also admin a different Discord from this one that's also TimeSplitters related. I look across the internet and I just see that there's just so much scattered information about the series. There's so much information that nobody knows about Free Radical because it's literally just lost. People have to dig for it, and I mean really dig for it. So I wanted to create something that can finally clear the mist after all these years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if you want, you can invite me to that Discord, and I'll hang out and chat with people and stuff.
Sure, I'll give you the link after I end up off here. One more question, simply because I don't want to take up your entire night or day. Am I allowed to put this conversation on YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind.
You might want to censor out. You mentioned Nick's full name earlier. You might want to censor his last name in some way.
Sure, I'll go through the recording and censor anything out that's deemed.
Yeah.
But you don't mind me doing that?
No, I don't mind at all. I mean, yeah, and send me a link to the YouTube video. I'll watch it and see what you came up with, because I'm always open to learning new things. I don't know everything about free radicals, so if you know something I don't, then I'll learn something new, and learning something new always makes me happy.
Sure. The documentary, it might take a little bit of time. Real life gets in the way of things. As much as I want to devote everything into this documentary and be all like, yeah, I'm going to make something really exciting, I can't do that all the time. So I'll make sure to keep cracking at the documentary, but it might be a little while. I'm just warning you now.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, and if you ever want to hang out, play a game or something like that, let me know, and we'll do stuff. I'm always
sure. Thank you too for being on call and just helping me solve the conundrum that I had with this documentary timeline.
Yeah, anytime.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna head out of a call now, so thank you.
All right. Have a great night. Yep.
Have a good night.